Cooking at the Compound, quarantine version, May 5th. Oh no, this is April 5th. What am I thinking?
It is April 5th, and we're going to give this a shot. We're not really sure about this recipe. It's one that I got from a friend of mine that
Just go ahead and say who it is.
Kevin Cassidy of Synchrony, that I used to work with at Synchrony through Haverty's, sent me this recipe when he found out I killed my first deer. So we're going to make this with venison tenderloin, and his recipe calls for a stuffing that we will use, and I'm looking up the recipe right now for this tenderloin. So we're going to stuff it with some mushrooms and onion and
parsley.
Something else. Oh, bacon and parsley.
Oh yeah, and we're supposed to use fresh parsley, but hey, unavailable. We're going with the dried.
Yeah, so we didn't have that, so we're going with this. And we're calling this Kitchen at the Compound, since we kind of live out in the woods north of Lafayette. So the North Lafayette woods in an undisclosed location. Well, some of you have been here, so it's not really undisclosed. But we're calling it the Compound during this COVID-19 emergency. And I've been chopping up some mushrooms here, so you can see. I think she's already taken a picture of that, and I'm going to add some parsley flakes. We don't, as she said, don't have the fresh parsley, so we're going to use dried parsley, and that's not coming out quick enough, so I'm going to have to take that off, and we're just going to add quite a bit of dried parsley in here.
Oh, tidbit, if you use dried herbs instead of fresh herbs, use less, because they're a lot more potent whenever they're dried.
And crush them a lot of times as you're putting them into whatever it is, because that will bring out what flavors are still there. So we're also going to add some onion, and
hey, look at the camera wants to get. Everybody wants to see your skinny face now.
No, that's not true. But I realized that these will be sauteed in some butter, along with the
if we're going to put
bacon.
If we're going to use bacon, how about if we just use the fat from the bacon lardons for the sauteing?
Oh, instead of the, did it call for some oil? I think it called for some oil.
Just called for butter.
It called for some butter, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Let's just use bacon fat. Hey, because bacon makes everything good.
I'll have to move that over so I can chop these onions.
I'm going to get, here's our fridge. And it should be fairly clean, so don't make fun.
Why not?
Bacon, can't you tell? Very obvious with the aluminum foil. Oops, sorry about that.
Well, this is special bacon too. This bacon comes from Sand Mountain, and it is
our little secret bacon.
Packaged there. It is sliced from a freshly killed hog that the butcher up there slaughters, and he has his own butcher in the back of Dobbins Market up on Sand Mountain in Alabama. I guess technically it's Higdon or Bryant, or I'm not sure exactly what the name of the city is, but
my point is, it is nitrite and nitrate free, so I can eat it. So my green people get Dobbins Market bacon.
Or Benton's. Benton's is more heavily smoked than this bacon is, so this bacon's not too heavy in the smoking, but I just want to dice this onion up pretty finely for our stuffing. The stuffing also has blue cheese in it, by the way.
Oh, really?
You think that needs a little more onion, or is that enough onion?
Well, you know, I like onion and I hate mushrooms, so there you go.
Well, there's a lot more mushrooms than onion right this minute, but once we cook it, it won't really be that way. So
well, I figured yes, of course. Onion's always good, but I figured I'd pull the mushrooms out anyway. Oh, but don't use that outside layer of that onion because it's yucky.
Yeah, of course. I'm not going to use the outside.
Oh, see, there you go. Yucky onion outside.
So we'll take that off. And I'm just going to cut off a chunk And put the rest of that back.
Look at those knife skills. Would
Yeah.
Anne Burrell be proud?
Not really.
Not really. They're not consistent. Okay.
No, they're not. Well, this is just chopping quickly. This is just...
This is not presentation worthy. Is that what you're saying?
No.
But
No.
it's taste worthy.
And the onion was sliding. See, there went a piece just flying into the stove. So, anyway. We're still going to get it chopped up finally. Not as fine
Oh,
as...
and also off in the distance, there's an extra plate of pancakes that Jeff had left over this morning.
Yeah, made some pancakes from the griddle. Really made pancake batter from scratch. Well, I mean, I did use self-rising flour, but it's a recipe we used for men's breakfast one morning, and I like to put a lot of vanilla in my... It's pretty easy. It's just an egg and some self-rising flour and a dab of baking powder.
Do you want to
and
define
lots
a
of vanilla.
dab?
About a quarter teaspoon. Yeah, about a quarter teaspoon.
Thank you.
Okay.
Our non-cooking friends will appreciate that. They don't know what a dab is.
Well, now here I'm hitting my head on the overhanging light.
Hey, hey, hey.
All right, so now we
Okay,
have our bacon.
the revolution of the bacon.
Our the big bacon reveal.
The
Can we
reveal,
call it the big
yes.
bacon reveal?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I'm going to use about two or three. That's two. Is
Yum,
that two?
yum, yum.
Maybe 3 pieces of bacon.
They're
What do you think?
kind of, they're
Or
not
two?
real thin sliced, or they're not thick sliced either. But
Yeah, this is about
Benton's
medium.
bacon is a little bit thicker than that, but
Let's use 3. I like, for some reason, 3.
bacon makes everything
The
better.
power of 3.
Ooh, and hint for those in Facebook world or wherever the heck we decide we're going to put this. If you've got a lot of bacon to cut, if you just freeze it for a little bit first, and that makes it easier to cut. It's not as slimy and
Yeah.
And you can
And this
also
is not frozen.
no, this is not frozen.
Yeah.
But you can also use kitchen snips. It's also
And you're wanting me to be on camera, but have you turned the camera around so they can see you?
no. Nobody wants to see me. I'm not as skinny.
Sure
as
they
you
do.
are.
Well, that doesn't matter. They still want to see you. They want to know who's talking. Who's that back there talking?
Oh, okay. Well, how do I do that?
Well, you hit that little button up there that
There's not a
turns
little
the,
button up there.
that turns the camera around.
There's not one.
There's not one?
No, there's not
Well,
one.
I guess you'll have to hold it away from you and turn the back side to
I'll
you
have
so you can
this.
say
Oh,
hello.
sorry, that's really bright. Hey, I'm just going to show you our living room while I
Say
get
hello,
it
Facebook.
around here. Hello. Oh, wait. I was even doing the wrong thing. I need to actually turn this in my hand, I guess, and say, hey, this is me.
Because all I'm doing is chopping the bacon right now. It's really exciting.
Oh, the Golf Channel's on. We've been, after Jason got done, and before, we've been watching the drive, chip, and putt from 2019.
Yeah, it's just good to see and since the Masters is canceled, it's good to see the course the way we remember it. Don't know what it's going to look like in September when they say they're going to be trying to do the Masters in September. That will be interesting. I'm going to try to run my knife one more time back through here, but I don't know.
So how do you think that having it in September is going to, or I mean, is the attendance going to be impacted on that, on the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just because that falls into football season?
It probably won't affect attendance, and it will be something unique. There will be lots of people that will want to say that they were there for that. I'm sure the tickets that you had for this year will be the same. I mean, if you had tickets, then you'll have tickets, and if you didn't, you won't. I don't think they will reissue the tickets, but people will definitely fill it up. I don't think that will be any different, but they will. What I'm interested in to see what they do with the golf course. Normally, the golf course is overseeded through the winter with ryegrass, and so that's what they're playing on in spring is the ryegrass. Well, it can't survive through the summer, especially not in Augusta. So what will be interesting is whether or not, and I'm just heating up the griddle now.
We can't see the temp. What temp are you going up to? Like
That's going to be like medium, between medium and low. I haven't got it all the way to medium, but we will probably be 350 degrees or so if I scan it with the thermometer. That's what I did. That's what I cooked the pancakes on.
All right.
So I would think it would be very similar.
So tell everybody how you know that it's hot if you don't have a temperature gauge, this fancy tool that you have.
Yeah, I've got a little reader.
Oh, laundry room.
but you can just get some water on your hands or get some water out of the sink or have a little cup of water and just fling it onto the surface.
Fling.
And it will fling like this. And when it dances and sizzles, you know it's hot enough. If it doesn't and it just lays there, then it's not hot enough. If it just immediately dissolves, it's too hot. So that's my tips for griddle temperature when you don't have a thermometer or you're not using some kind of a thermostatic griddle that you plug in somewhere that you set the temperature on exactly. This is just a griddle plate that we put over our stove, and it's nice and big and it works really well. And I'd already used it this morning, so we're going to use it again. I'm just going to wipe off a little bit of the pan I sprayed on here for the pancakes, and we'll probably spray a little bit more on as we saute this and use.
Well, I will go in here. Bacon. Here's our pantry. Oh, and laundry that I did yesterday. Pantry. Oh, there it is. Butter flavor.
Obviously, the blue cheese we're not going to put in what we put on the griddle. That would make a complete mess.
Oh, I shall retrieve the blue cheese.
But it will be part of the stuff. Close up this bottle before I get the pan on it. Am I forgetting something? Parsley, mushrooms, onion.
Are you gonna
bacon?
Are you gonna add any of your standard S&P?
Salt and pepper.
Or just pea? There should be plenty of salt in the bacon and in the cheese. So.
Yeah, there's going to be peppercorns on the outside, so we're going to roll the tenderloin in peppercorns, and I don't think we really want to do that. We also have some red wine vinegar dressing. Well, it's not totally red wine vinegar because we ran out, but it's got vinegar and oil in a dressing that Michelle mixed up that we will be using as the marinade. So we're going to stuff this tenderloin, we're going to tie it up, and then we're going to marinate it, and then this evening we will grill it. I love grilling. I love grilled food. All the flavor that's imparted from, that's kind of scary. People don't want to see that. So let's, while we're at it, and while we're waiting on the griddle to heat up to temperature, let's take a look at the tenderloin. Here's the tenderloin in its cryovac pack. It's been vacuum sealed since I killed this deer in early January.
No, it wasn't January. Was it January?
It was January.
Okay.
Yeah.
But hey, this thing grew on our property somewhere.
It was the last weekend of deer season. But yeah, this animal have been feeding at our feeder and fattening up throughout the winter. And so you can see it's nicely trimmed. There's very little fat on it. Those of you who've killed and or eaten tenderloin know exactly what this is, what I'm doing here, and probably have your own recipe. So send us your recipe, what you like, how you like to fix your deer tenderloin. You know, there's not much fat on it, so that's why you got to really be careful when you cook it, because you can overcook it very quickly, very easily, especially on the grill. So we don't need the grill to be too hot. This was processed by Lake Howard, and they did what looks like an excellent job in packaging it and getting it processed. So we're anxious to cook it. I've never cooked a deer tenderloin.
And this was a doe. This was not a buck. So she should be a little bit more tender.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, everybody tells me that the does, and this was a pretty good sized doe, but not a huge doe.
Well, it took two of you to lift her up into the truck.
It did. It did take two to lift into the truck.
Goodness knows I couldn't help.
Yeah. I offered, and you went down there with me, and you took some pictures.
Right.
And, I was getting ready to gut it at one point. I'm just glad I didn't end up having to do that.
Yeah, me too. Thank you. Because I didn't want to be holding a flash spot when you were doing that.
Or smelling it.
Or smelling it, yeah.
And I don't know if it would have bothered me or not. I haven't done that. But then when I found out Lake Howard, you could just take it there, and they would do it all, then that was my choice. I'm just loading up the griddle here.
So explain to us, are you gonna cook it to where the bacon lardons are crispy, or are you just gonna get them?
Well, no matter whether they're crispy or not, they're probably going to soften up once we marinate it, because it's going to be stuffed in there and tied up. But then during the marinade process, it's probably going to soften up anyway. So it may crisp back up. And I think what we're going to do, aside from the recipe, is also wrap the tenderloin with bacon and probably stick a toothpick or something in there to hold the bacon on. Or maybe we'll wrap it with bacon and before I tie it. And then that way we can get some crispy bacon on the outside. What do you think about that?
Well, but I don't think we want the bacon on the outside to marinate, do we? Oops, he's going over to the tool drawer. What tools are you looking for, man?
Well, I don't know. I'm a little bit not sure what I'm looking for. I think I want a spatula.
Back left corner. Oh, no.
I think this is the spatula that I want for now.
Which some people call a pancake turner. We call them a spatula.
I like this bacon to cook a little bit before I put any more onions and mushroom in there. I just thought I'd add a little bit of that flavor to get it all started. I'm gonna let that bacon fry, so I'm gonna spread that out a little bit more.
And sadly,
I think I was thinking about kitchen twine, which is why I was going in the drawer over there.
okay.
Whoops.
Sadly, we do not have any kind of vent hood or downdraft in this house, so
it's very easy to set off the smoke alarm.
yes.
Even though we took the one out right above the stove. It will set the one off upstairs if we really get stuff too hot. That's why I'm trying to keep the.
But it also makes the entire house, upstairs, downstairs, everywhere, smell like whatever you're cooking.
Which is a good thing. I like to smell while I'm cooking.
Depends on what we're cooking.
Hey.
It's better than some smells we have around here.
It might not be that good. But can you smell what the Fletchers are cooking?
Oh, I don't know, but I'm about ready to turn the air conditioner on and turn the temperature down. It's a little bit stuffy in
It's
here.
getting warm standing over this fire. I know that.
Well, here.
Speaking of fire, we've been building a little.
Hey, I got it to prop up, Hog.
Wow. Okay. We've been building a fire in our chimenea that we've had for 2 years and never used, and we've used it the last 2 nights. So here's a tip on that. Apparently, you have to fire those things and burn out whatever's on the inside when you get it, because Michelle kept complaining that she was smelling some chemical smell when the first night that we fired it up. So
it was horrible.
Apparently. So see, you could come over here now, so you could also be on camera since you set it up.
Oh, I figured out how to set it up.
Yeah.
So hi.
Hi.
You can see me cook the vegetables and sides that go with this later on tonight.
Yeah.
What is that going to be? Broccoli. We've got broccoli we need to cook.
Yeah.
This might be pantry, Ray. What have we got to?
Yeah, whatever we got.
We've got
a
pantry. Oh, we've got a
pickup coming today, which we may get some squash.
We may get some squash.
We got some squash.
We've got some bok choy too that we've had for a couple of weeks. We need to finish that off.
Oh, we have bok choy.
No, I hate Asian food. We're not going to call it that.
But you don't hate Asians, just Asian food.
No, just Asian food. Yeah, it makes me nauseous.
Yeah, well, sad for you because I love it, and I wish you enjoyed it with me because I really love like stir fry, like Japanese stir fry. It's awesome.
Yuck. Now everybody's just looking at my refrigerator.
Now
you moved. Sorry, folks. Sorry, didn't realize you were just staring
at the fridge. You're not having to hold the camera the whole time.
Yeah, but when you're moving around, there for about 20 seconds, people just got to look at our fridge.
Well, you can back it up a little bit.
Oh, the fridge story. So let me tell y'all this story. This is kind of funny.
Oh, the fact that we had to do refrigerator repair during this.
No, we had to do dryer repair. That's another story.
Well, we had to do freezer repair.
We had to do freezer repair. But no. This is even better. So in October of 2014, we had lightning hit our house.
Oh, that story. That's
and we hadn't had this refrigerator very long because we moved in here in May of 13, and then we kept the old original refrigerator. Hang on. So we got this beautiful LG 32 cubic foot refrigerator. It's beautiful. We love it. It holds all kinds of stuff. It's like the biggest fridge that LG made. Well,
they don't even make them that big anymore. They quit making it.
yeah. So we got a specialty item here,
They
Clark.
make them smaller.
But whenever we had this lightning strike,
Adding the rest of the vegetables to
adding rest of the vegetables
to these griddle.
There we go. Just look
I've
at
got a
that.
little flexible cutting board here that I'm just going to rake everything in,
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
spread it out,
Yummy, yummy.
let it cook for a few minutes. It's cooking down nicely.
Okay, back to the refrigerator story.
Yeah.
So the refrigerator was one of the many appliances that got hit by lightning because it kind of went in this side of the house and went all the way to the end of the house till it found ground. But anyway, the refrigerator, we were very sad. Luckily, we had an outside refrigerator that we could put everything in. But Mr. Fletcher there was, I will never forget this, was so sad because our brand new lovely...
Mr. Fletcher is my father.
You know, he was never Mr. Fletcher. He was always Mark and Tracy. That's the way my parents are. They were never Mr. and Mrs. Murphy to my friends. They were always Terry and Vera, which I always thought was cool.
Anyway, lightning struck
and it blew out.
Bose radio next to your face, and your face still gets weird tingling.
Yes, it does. That's very bizarre.
Yeah.
But anyway, so one time when this refrigerator conked out, Jeff was so sad, especially whenever we thought we couldn't get a new refrigerator, and he went over there and actually hugged the refrigerator and said, "Oh, I love you, refrigerator. We're gonna miss you."
I did?
Yes, you did. I remember that. It was a silly day. No wine or anything was involved. You were just being silly. No, but thankfully,
I am silly then.
but we were able to find one to replace it at Lowe's. They had one in South Pittsburgh. They transferred it to Port Oglethorpe, and they delivered it to us. So we only were out with the refrigerator for a day or two. So that was good. And my mom and dad got the old one fixed, and so they have it in their house.
I don't know if that's cooked enough. You think that's cooked enough? Is that what cooked
I don't know.
enough?
Do we need light? I don't know. Let's see.
This may be too
Yes.
light for our... That looks cooked enough?
Yes.
You can turn some light on if you want to. I know you're the master of light. So
I love extra light.
you like bright light, and I don't.
Well, not as much
I
as
like
I used
natural
to.
light, but
Not as much as I used to like extra light because I figured out that it does bottom on my things.
So I'm going to add this to this bowl so we can add the blue cheese and let this cool for a few minutes. And I'm just going to put it in this bowl.
So notice how much that cooked down from
Yeah,
that
there's
big pile there we had
there's a
before.
huge pile. Now there's more onion than there is mushroom, which will make you happy.
Yay! That makes me very happy. I don't like to eat fungus. Fungi? Fungus? What is it? How do you make that for? Teach your friends. Is it
Fungi.
Is it fungi or is
I
it
don't know.
fungus?
I know about fungo bats. You use those in baseball.
Oh,
I was
fungal
playing
bats.
baseball when I was a kid. We had fungo bats, which are just a thin little bat that you could hit all kinds of good pop flies real easy with, and grounders and whatever. But our coaches always used the fungo bat. So those of you who grew up playing baseball, you know what I'm talking about.
I thought a fungo bat was some kind of special bat, like those you talk about that's up there near the lake that live in that little cave or something.
Oh no, it's not a type of actual bat. I'll about to burn myself then. Could put some garlic in this too, but we're not doing that. Not this time.
No, we
We have
have
several recipes, and we're going to try them all. Because I have several pieces
Off.
off and off. Yes, we have several pieces of tenderloin. So
Okay. Are you ready to slice the tenderloin?
I tell you what. Why don't we need to get you involved?
Oh no.
So I mean, we'll let this cool down a minute, and then
Yes.
we'll add the blue cheese.
Can you see the steam coming off of that?
Yeah,
Hey,
can you?
steam.
If you could smell it, oh my gosh, we need
Smell-o-vision,
smell-o-vision,
smell-o-vision.
iPhone smell-o-vision. But if you could smell that, it smells fantastic. And I was gonna maybe get the
It smells
tenderloin
like
out.
bacon.
And
Did you already put the tenderloin back in the fridge? Oh no.
no, I just laid it right here so it could start to get warm. And so I can prepare it for stuffing and let you mix the blue cheese into it and actually do the
And stuff
stuffing.
it?
And because you're probably going to be better at that
Don't
than
tell me to stuff it.
Well, That's another show. By the way, we have no idea how to publish this or if we're even going to be able to publish it. We may could send it out just as, to our friends as just a message. I don't know. So if you know how to send this out or get it on Facebook or YouTube, that would be fun. We have no clue how to do that. Of course, if we don't get it on Facebook or YouTube, they can't know about it to tell us how to do it. So I guess that doesn't make sense.
Well, I would say if we get into a pinch, we have a nephew-in-law and a nephew that could probably help us.
Yes, we do. Yeah. Fletcher and Stephen, Brenna's husband, Stephen, they are video savvy, so they could probably tell us how to do this. And hopefully we won't have to pay some ridiculous fee to sign up or to be able to do it. But we thought this would be fun, and hope you're enjoying it. Are we going to cut here and do a couple things and come back when we're ready, or do you want to just keep going?
We've been going to 26 minutes, so let's
Okay.
cut. They're probably tired of us right now.
Okay, we'll come back when we're ready to stuff.